I'm convinced that we are either praying the wrong prayer or we're not being specific enough. If you're a Christian, I'm sure you've heard the story of blind Bartimaeus, the man who was on the side of the road and heard that Jesus was coming and started crying out to him and calling out to him and annoying everybody that was around him. So he's crying out, Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me. He's crying out, crying out, crying out. And everybody's like, be quiet, shut up. And finally, Jesus reaches him. Jesus asks him a question. He said, what would you have me to do? Now, the thing that really caught my attention this time when I read it was not what blind Bartimaeus was, not the people trying to silence him. It was the question that Jesus asked. What would you have me to do? I had never seen it like this before. But I started thinking to myself, now this is Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, the man who was reading the thoughts of the Pharisees, the disciples, who was able to tell the woman at the well how many men she had been with, all these things. Why was he asking this blind man, who was obviously blind, what he wanted Jesus to do? And it just helped me to understand that even if God knows exactly what you want, exactly what you need, his law is ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door shall be opened unto you. You have to ask God. And then I started thinking about all the miracles that Jesus did when he went to visit the home of the little girl who had passed away. The father came to get her. That man had to go look for Jesus and find him to bring him to his house. Even the woman who had the issue of blood, she had to reach out her hand to receive from Jesus. It's not an issue of, do Jesus know what you're going through? Does God know what you're going through? You have to open up your mouth and ask. And you have to be specific about what you want. Because blind Bartimaeus was saying, Jesus, have mercy on me. But that's not the proper prayer. Jesus was having mercy on him. Mercy showed up because mercy says, I'm here to help you. The mercy was right there. But he had to say specifically what he wanted. I remember when I was in my marriage, and I was married for 17 years. And I was praying, God, change his heart. Lord, help me to make it through. Help me to endure. If there's anything in me, Lord, please change me. I was saying all these different prayers. Fasting like was going out of style, okay? Every fast there is, Daniel fast, water fast, Esther fast, every fast. I was fasting, praying. This man never, ever, ever changed until one day I got tired, okay? I got worn out. And I thought to myself, my mind changed. I said, if I don't get out of here, I'm not going to make it out. And that's when I said, Lord, get me out of this situation. That was my prayer. And God showed up and he answered my prayer. My mind had to change. I had to ask for the right thing. I was asking the right person, but I was asking for the wrong thing. Because God cannot change the heart of someone who doesn't want their heart to change. He's not going to override anybody's will, no matter how much somebody prays or fasts for that individual. They got to submit. So when I submitted and I said, hey, this ain't working, okay? I'm not going to be silly anymore, Lord. I see the toll that this is taking on me. Get me up out of here. He did. He moved me halfway across the country, 500 plus miles away. Do you hear me? Sometimes you have to ask for the right prayer. And sometimes you have to ask the specific prayer that you need in order for God to answer. There's something that he's waiting for you to say. You got to say it out of your mouth in order for God to come in and move on your behalf. You have his attention. You're crying out to him, asking him for help. But what is it specifically that you need help with that he can do? Because we know that all things are possible with God. Yes, all things are possible with God. And he cannot override someone's free will. It's just like he said, it's not my will that anybody should perish. This is God's own will. It's not his will that anybody should go to hell. But guess what? It's a whole lot of people right now in hell. That's not God's will. But he cannot take his will and put his will over somebody else's will. It's never going to happen. He don't do that. So What is the prayer that you're praying? Are you praying rightly or are you praying amiss? It's up to us to give God the right request, the right request, and He will grant it for you. He will.